Alright, now that we've got it to round, we're going to put it on the drill press and drill all the way down it. I've got a 5/8 bit on it, so we're going to need to go as center as possible. This is probably the most delicate part of it. And just gotta line it up. I believe that's good. And here we go. Didn't quite get the other side, so we just go in where the hole is bored. Line it up. Alright. So, we got a nice hole through it now. And going to take a file and clean these shavings out, and then we will finish the tip. So alright, we are going to do the tip now. Now for the tip, just so you know the orientation, this is our spike. You want it, this spike's going to represent the top of the haft, where the haft is going to end. So over here is where our tip is going to be. So we're going to go from the very bottom and curve up. So we'll lay it down like this, and we're going to mark at the bottom of it. Then going to eyeball it a little bit. Probably do another 4 inches. I think that'll look good. And anytime throughout all this, you can change the dimensions as you want. I'm using a 64-inch half, for example, because I'm making this for a friend, and she stands 5'2". So this is going to put it a little bit taller than her, so maybe she can strike an imposing figure. And I think the dimensions will be alright on that. So we'll just take and try and draw a curved line towards our mark. And even if you don't get this correct, always remember that there's sanding to be done, there's a little bit more heat shaping to be done, so this can be fixed later on if you're not quite happy with it. So I'm going to take this on the bandsaw again and cut this out. You could use a hacksaw, anything you wanted to. I know that Tim Pytek is fond of heating it up and using aviation shears to cut them off, but however you can manage it. So I'm going to cut that out, and then I'll show you what the full blade looks like. It's alright. We've got it done now. So this is our spike at the end. This is where we drilled our hole. And that's where we have our new blade end. So now what we're going to do is we're going to heat up a couple of sections of this a little bit at a time, and we're going to gently heat it up to where the pipe isn't going to lose its form, but we're able to bend it. That way we can get that curved scythe look. So we're going to do this in 2 parts. Depending on your blade's dimensions, it's going to be different parts, or depending on how you want. I prefer the subtle curve, you know, where there's not much curve at all. Some people, you know, you could shape the whole thing to where it, you know, comes off like a scimitar or something like that if you want it. It depends on you, where you want your creativity to go with it. So I'm going to do a subtle curve, and so I'm going to heat it about here and bend it, you know, just slightly downward. And then probably here and give it, you know, one more. So I want to show you how I do that. We'll see. Alright, so we're going to heat it up gently, probably about right here. And just so you guys know, this is where I am terrible at this, because I usually wind up heating it up too much and it starts getting a little bulbous. If that happens, you can quickly take it down to, you know, a flat area, and with a board, you know, flatten it back out and still get your bend. But some people I've seen are really good at it. I'm terrible, but here we go. You're going to constantly be checking, because you're wanting to the point where you can just form it, not whenever it's, you know, puffing up. So I'm just going to take it, put it on my knee, and bend it back some. Just be careful whenever you're doing this, because you want to remember the orientations, because on the other one I bent it upward the first time because I wasn't paying attention. So don't want that to happen to you. Awesome. That actually turned out very decent. It's puffing out just a little bit. But I can fix that. Make sure it's straightened. Strength of Nick, but we're going to sight down it, and it is relatively straight. Don't know if you guys can see that. That works though, so that gives us our first ever so slight curve. Now next, going to move down a little bit and do this one, so I'll do that and then show you what it looks like. Alright, got it done now. Got a little bit of a curve. Some people imagine a scythe with more of a curve, and you can do that. That's no problem. This is the way I always envision a scythe. So just a nice, simple curve. Heck, I mean, even if you wanted to, you know, this is a weapon right here. But what we're going to do is, next we're going to heat this up again, and we're going to insert the 1/2-inch pipe. So, show you how we do that. Alright, so we're going to take our drilled section, and we're going to heat it back up. And our 5/8 holes are a lot smaller than this, but whenever the PVC is pliable, you can jam this in there. You will have to watch out for it folding in on itself. If that happens as you're inserting the pipe, then just back it out and try and make sure that all the folds are out, because you want it to look as much like this as possible. If there's a little bit of a bending or puckering, I mean, that's to be expected. But we want a nice tight fit, because the reason we haven't fixed this hook on the end yet is because we're actually going to insert hot glue and let it run down and seal all this up. So This is what we're going to do right here. Alright, you can see it's starting to get flexible. We're going to heat it up just a little bit more. Duh. Try it again. Bam. It'll take some fiddling. So, we're going to have this, and we're going to let it set up, and you want a decent bit sticking out the top. This is maybe about 1.5 inches, something like that, because we're going to seal this in many different ways. That way the head doesn't twist on the haft or come off. So, that's what that part looks like. So, next we're going to let this completely cool down, and then we're going to put the hot glue into it. So.